Tonight, the signs that your child could be the victim of bullying.
The surgical and non-surgical options for body contouring.
And Chef Scott Price is back with a yummy dish of pigeon, yes, pigeon salad.
Only on Studio One, of course.
Live from Dubai. Welcome to Studio One, and there is something different about the studio today. And is that you, Dina?
It is.
Oh, what are you doing here? Where's Tom?
Well, I kind of set Tom off.
Okay,
I was enough with the reporting.
You were
and
missing our
adventures,
studio, were you?
I wanted to stay and get comfortable on the couch.
Well, there's definitely lots to look forward to tonight. Now, models, actresses, and celebrities all tend to have the perfect body shape. And now, so can you. Find out how a little later on.
And is your child being bullied at school? Tonight we identify the warning signs and give you the insight on how to prevent it.
Yes, more on that very soon. But first, it's time to find out about our Groupon deal of the day. Tonight's Groupon deal of the day is perfect for the hot weather. 4 pairs of tailor-made shorts from Square Gems. Tom would have liked this one. Too bad he's not here tonight. Where are you, Tom?
The original price is 1,200 dirhams, but with Groupon you pay 396. That's a 67% discount. And as always, one of you will win it completely free of charge on the show tonight.
Plus, we're also giving you Elemis Anti-Aging Treasure Trio, Pro Collagen Eye Renewal, Pro Collagen Quartz Lift Serum, and Pro Collagen Marine Cream, Calvin Klein Sheer Beauty, and an anti-stress pampering treatment at the Sensor Wellness Center. Ooh, a lot of prizes to give away tonight. And Dina, the lovely Dina here, will tell you what you need to do in order to win.
Oh, thank you, Ash. Okay, simply find the question on our Facebook fan page, facebook.com/Studio One Live. When you know the answer, text either A, B, or C plus your name. And don't forget your location to our competition line at 056-680-1018. We will be revealing the name of the winner live at the end of the program, so make sure you stay tuned. Now over to Ash in the kitchen.
Yes, I am in the kitchen today with the one and only Chef Scott Price, Executive Chef of Table 9 at the Hilton Dubai Creek. Chef Scott, welcome to the show.
Evening.
Great to have you back on.
Thank you very much.
Did I read it right, or was it an error on my auto cue? Pigeon salad.
Yeah,
What is that?
it's a pigeon. Well, it's obviously minus the wings and all the feathers.
I've never seen a pigeon in that state, I'm going to be honest.
Neither have I.
Well, it's not going to be looked like that when it's finished. Okay.
Okay.
So what we're going to do is a nice pigeon salad. Basically, springtime in Europe, nice wood pigeon coming into season. So we're kind of incorporating it with some roasted hazelnuts, okay, and pomegranates, which are kind of local as well, to kind of bring it together.
Pomegranates with a pigeon.
Yeah.
Well, they look the same color at the moment, so let's give it a go.
Okay, so I'm going to take I'll take the legs off. We're going to cook it in the water bath really slowly. And then about 3 or 4 minutes, then I'm going to roast it off in the pan, get loads of nice flavour in there. Pigeon's a really gamey, strong meat, okay, but it's really nice and flavoursome. Okay?
Does it have an odor? I have to be honest, I have to ask.
Why didn't go for
No,
it,
but when
Dina?
you cook it.
I think most things have an odour when you cook them, but yeah, it's quite a rich, dense flavour.
No, but what I really want to know is where can we find these? Because I don't remember reading pigeon at a supermarket, do you, Dina?
No,
Well,
I've never seen
unfortunately, these ones we get from a supplier from Europe. But I mean, if you want to maybe go down to Dubai Mall with a net, maybe you could grab one from there.
Down to Dubai Mall with a net. All right, Chef,
The pigeons here are friendly though, Ash, aren't they?
I like pigeons. I would never do that to one.
You know, all the big cities in the world, you go to New York, you go to Paris, you go to Montreal, the pigeons are cruel. They have attitude. They're like the city goers there. Oh, absolutely.
Well, you seem to know quite a bit about pigeons. I'm quite impressed, Dina.
Well, I've never eaten one, but
well, tonight
it's my
is
opportunity
the
to
night.
kill one.
Well, Chef, what's step 1?
Step 1, basically what we're going to do is you need a really sharp knife for this, and we're going to take the legs, okay, just like this, nice and easy. There's a little bit of blood involved, so I apologise if you're a bit squeamish. Okay, and then what you get left with is basically the crown. So we've got the legs, we're going to cook those slowly on the side, and we'll use them as part of the salad. And then if you go under the breast there, and you go through with the knife.
Ooh.
Ow.
All right.
Did you hear that sound?
I
Did you
can hear
that
the
sound?
pigeons.
So that's
Screaming.
basically the rib cage. All the entrails have already been taken out, okay? Because it's not what you want to see on TV, and that gets left with the crown.
Okay.
So what we're going to do is we're going to poach that in the water, leave it to rest, and we'll take the skin off, and then we'll cook it off in the pan so it's nice and flavoursome and nice and pink in the middle.
Okay, we're going to let you carry on with that. Well, this is definitely a first time for me with pigeons.
I'm
assuming
never
for
tried
you
pigeon.
too,
Have you
Dina.
tried pigeon?
Never. But I've heard stuffed pigeons are quite popular in Egypt, no?
They do have stuffed pigeon age. They stuff them up with rice and they're just down there looking.
Well, if you'd like to know the
Mash.
recipe to tonight's pigeon salad, do log on to our Facebook fan page. That's facebook.com/Studio One Live.
Now coming up, how to avoid, prevent, and take action against bullying.
Stay tuned. Welcome back to Studio One. Now, as recent reports news shows, tragically, bullying at schools is an all too frequent part of many children's lives.
It is indeed. So how do we spot the danger signs and what can we do to prevent it? Here with some of the answers is cross-cultural psychologist Samina Shahim. Samina, welcome to the show.
Thank you very much.
Now,
Thanks
we've been
for having
reading
me.
so much about it in the papers. We have to stop asking, what exactly is bullying? Because I know it varies in every country. How would you define it?
Yeah, absolutely. There's a lot of countries or cultures that don't even have a word for bullying. So as you can imagine, it can be very confusing, especially in a diverse society like ours. People may not be able to define it or may not be able to identify it. So really important to understand what bullying is. And you go to the heart of it, the central sort of character of bullying is when one individual is being teased or manipulated or being victimized by another person or a group of people who somehow are at a higher power distance. So they're stronger maybe in terms of their social positioning or stronger in terms of strength. So that person doesn't have an opportunity to protect themselves.
Well, this is definitely an important shift from the way bullying was perceived by the previous generation. At least back in the days, it was not considered to be such a serious offense as how it is right now.
Yeah.
So how important is it to spread the awareness of the seriousness of this issue in today's world?
It's incredibly important because, you know, when I'm often asked about statistics and occurrences, I think if it's one is one too many. So it really doesn't matter how often is it occurring, what are the numbers on it. Children should be in schools. Schools should be safe environments in which they're learning academically, growing socially and emotionally and psychologically. And if there's a battlefield that they have to encounter, that's not going to be good for them, not for their present nor for their future. So really, really important to identify it and to do something about it.
Well, speaking of identifying, of course, it's really important that the parents know that their children or one of their children being bullied.
Yeah.
What are the warning signs? What should we be looking out for?
Yeah, there are some common signs that children would exhibit. Some are more obvious than others. The more common signs would be, for example, if the child's attitude has suddenly changed. So this child that was previously happy, very balanced, had a sort of balanced emotional well-being, is now withdrawn, a little bit sad, goes through crying spells, doesn't want to hang out with their friends like they normally would, doesn't participate or engage within the family as they normally would. If this person now kind of isolates themselves into their room, if they're not as happy as they used to be, if, for example, they complain of stomach pain or headaches or psychosomatic symptoms, as we refer it. So they don't come out and say that they're sad or they're anxious, but they'll say, my stomach hurts, or I feel nauseous, or I have a headache and I don't want to go to school. That's a big one, you know, complaining and saying that, please, can I stay home tomorrow and I don't want to go to school.
Now, bullying is, of course, a very serious issue that can affect the psychological development of a child. But if you can break down the different forms of bullying, because there might be a lot of kids who are the bullies who say we were just teasing. I believe there's a very fine line between the word bullying and teasing. How can we recognize that fine line?
Absolutely. So, there, for example, the way in which we like to differentiate between teasing and bullying. Teasing is a sort of back and forth interaction that goes on. So you may say something, I say 2 things back, you say 3 things back, and then we're good. We're all laughing, or the whole group is laughing. Bullying, when it's directed, it's a one-way attack, and the other person doesn't have the faculties or the emotional or psychological immunity to be able to protect themselves. So it's a one-way attack. And when that occurs, the person feels incredibly, traumatized, emotionally upset. It affects their self-esteem. It affects their confidence. They feel hopeless and helpless. They go through all kinds of emotional challenges. And not only does it affect them psychologically or socially, but it also affects their academic performance.
Absolutely.
They're there to study, and then as a result of this, their grades suffer.
But what if your child is a bully? What if you find that out? How do you react? What do you do in that case?
I guess the bullies get a bad rap, and of course they need to be identified, and they need to be sort of retrained, if you will, or retaught the correct behavior of what's appropriate and inappropriate. But oftentimes, you'll be surprised that the bully themselves have been bullied, or they are living in an environment in which they're observing very violent or aggressive type behavior. So they're modeling behavior at home that may not be appropriate. So let's say older siblings are beating on them, neighbors' kids might be bullying them, or if they see a interaction between their mother and father that's not very functional. So the child mimics and models this behavior and acts it out in school. So they too need help.
Well, Samina, this is a very broad but very disturbing subject. We can of course go on for hours discussing about it. But if there's one simple practical advice that you can give the parents out there for those whose kids have been victims to bullying, what would that be?
Can I just finish by saying, please, it's really important for the entire community to get involved. It will not help if we only speak to the parents. And by that, I'm talking about GPs, general practitioners, psychologists, the doctors, schools, faculty members, parents, neighbors, older siblings. Everybody needs to get involved. But if there's one thing that parents can do is speak to your child before they go to school. Speak to them, have this conversation with them, let them know that it's not right for anybody to treat them in that way. And if it does happen, that they should come and speak to them about it, not to suffer in silence and to keep it inside.
Definitely. Well, schools should definitely not be a battlefield, and bullying is certainly not something that can make you, it can only break you. And of course, when in doubt of any kind of bullying, definitely do approach the right authorities for it. Samina, thank you so much for joining us. For more information on anything that we've discussed on the show right now, do log on to our Facebook fan page. Facebook.com/Studio One Live is the address. Now we need to head back to the kitchen to find out how Chef Scott's pigeon salad is doing. Chef?
Hi. Okay, so what we've got on at the moment is basically I took the legs off the pigeon, as you've seen. That's what I've done. Yeah, don't worry. Inside a little bit of olive oil, some thyme and garlic in there. We're just going to cook them slowly for about an hour, okay, and they'll be nice and soft. Kind of like duck leg meat as well, just pigeon. Okay, but it's enough portion. It's enough for one salad, okay, which is what all we need. So they're going to go there for about an hour. We've also got some hazelnuts slowly roasting off. Okay, what I'll do with this, obviously I've done this prior, but blend these down to get a nice puree to go on the plate. Some really nice concentrated hazelnut flavour.
They look a little burnt there, no?
No, it's just the light.
It's just fried.
Yeah. Okay, so and then I'll take a few out, chop them in half, and use them for the salad to give it a bit of texture. And also we'll have the puree, so it's kind of like a sauce that complements the pigeon.
Does the actual cooking time required for pigeon longer than, say, chicken?
No, I mean chicken. When you eat chicken, it has to be cooked fully all the way through. I mean, depending on how you like your meat. For the pigeon, basically what we've done is I took the breasts off and put them in a vac bag. So we're cooking it sous vide really, okay, which means you can cook in a small amount of oil and all the flavour get kept inside. This has been in for about 3 minutes. Leave that to cool down in the bag, and all the nice juices are going to stay, and it's going to stay really nice.
How long do you need to keep it in there for?
Until you need it really, but you cook it no more than 10 minutes before you need it, okay? So I'll leave this to stay warm just on the side, and as I finish it at the end, up quickly in a hot pan, just to colour it up around the outsides, and then we'll slice it. So it'll be nice and pink and rested, and nice and full of nice juicy flavour.
All right. Now, pigeon salad is not just new to our Studio One kitchen, but I believe that there are new things happening at Table 9 as well. I believe you have a new menu that's come out.
Yeah, well, this is one of the new dishes off the new menu that we've just recently brought on. Really nice seasonal springtime dishes. As part of what we're doing at the moment, we've also got the cookery school starting about 3 weeks ago. So we're doing basically 5 different courses. We're doing a bread week, fish week, pasta, chocolate.
Okay, for these cooking courses, what stage do you need to be? Is it for dummies who know nothing about cooking?
Say bread week sounds really good.
Yeah, it's basically for, you know, if you want to come, what we're going to do is teach skills at a basic level. So when you can learn a skill, and when you go home, you can recreate the skill. There's no point in going to a restaurant and learning some complicated dish, and you get home and you can't do it.
Ash, we've got to talk our way into some freebies over here. Freebies.
Definitely.
Thank you so much. We'll be checking with you in just a bit. Now, after the break, the beauty segment is up.
Do not miss that one. Welcome back to Studio One, and it's time once again to focus on the body beautiful. Tonight we're talking about liposuction and one of the most popular non-surgical alternatives.
Here to tell us more is Dr. Jaffer Khan, specialist plastic and reconstructive surgeon at Aesthetics International. Welcome, Dr. Khan. Your reputation precedes you. I've read quite a bit about you. Now I have to ask, all of us women, at one point or another, fantasize about having that perfect body, some nipping and tucking. What kind of procedures do you offer for body sculpting?
Well, traditionally, as plastic surgeons, particularly in a community in an aesthetic setting, we would offer liposuction or liposculpture. We'd also do a series of different body contouring procedures involving removal of skin. And these can be, for example, you've heard of the bat arms or the bat wings, tummy tucks. These are the common ones, body lifts and buttock lifts. So these are the things that we could do by skin excision.
Shopping list.
But it goes a little bit further than that. I mean, really, the muscular structure of the body is very important. And so we encourage patients to understand that the definition of your muscles and the fact that you go to the gym, work out, is a very important part of body contouring, as is the skeleton.
Now, doctor, there are way too many terms over here, and I'm a little confused. So if you can break it down to me, there's body sculpting, there's contouring, there's liposuction. Can you just break down the difference between all of these?
Well, it's an interesting question because the nomenclature is confusing sometimes. But the basic way that we contour today is by changing the subcutaneous fat structure and the external skin structure. So when you're talking about body contouring, as a general, it encompasses everything. Liposuction addresses the fat. Body lifts, skin excision procedures, they talk about essentially how we can address the envelope. And those are the two most common ways. And liposculpture is a kind of more superficial liposuction where you have to be very careful and use very much thinner cannulas and multiple passes to try and achieve the shape of the more superficial tissues.
Now, doctor, say if a patient doesn't want to undergo surgery, what is the other alternative that you would suggest them? Well,
this is an often asked question, and I think there was a time when I was using something called lipodissolve, which is phosphatidylcholine, and this has been actually medically shown to dissolve the superficial fat layers, and you do this with injections. It's a little tedious, and the results are not always consistent. Then I'm sure you've heard of, you know, this basically the roller technique, which is endermology, which was the first generation, and then subsequently radio frequency treatments came in. Then Syneron came out with this machine, VelaShape, which looks like a big vacuum cleaner.
A vacuum cleaner. We thought this was brought to clean the studio.
but indeed, it's one of its modalities is much like the endermology technology. It sucks up the tissue first, encourages the lymphatic drainage. Then second technology is radio frequency, which has been medically shown to add heat to the tissues, increase the fat metabolism, and indeed fat breakdown. And the third modality is infrared, which is a kind of more superficial heating. So with these three combined modalities, we have VelaShape, which I think works really well for cellulite. And cellulite is really difficult to treat even surgically. So therefore, I think for ladies, and again, I wouldn't suggest this machine for somebody who's looking at massive weight loss or serious contouring.
Well, on that note, we want to talk about liposuction over here. Is it actually a good option for weight loss? I've heard so many things about it. I've definitely seen some dramatic and amazing results. I want to hear it from you.
Yes, there have been in the past people who have been actually aspirating close to 17 liters in one sitting. Wow. I think we have to understand that there's a lot of hemodynamic changes. If somebody is going to undergo that kind of procedure, they go straight to the intensive care unit. This is not something that you do casually. You have a team involved, and it's not something I like to do. It's not something I suggest to my patients. you know, bariatric surgery has superseded that now, where you have the gastric sleeve and the gastric bands, and patients lose weight on their own. Unfortunately, subsequently, they're left with a lot of excess skin. And then this is addressed by the skin excision procedures I was talking about earlier.
Well, doctor, we have one of our Facebook viewers who have tried to reach us because she has a question for you about this treatment. We have Darlene on the line. Hello, Darlene.
Hello.
Hi, Darlene. What is your question for Dr. Jaffer?
Okay, I just turned 18 and slightly overweight, and I have a tummy. Will you advise me to go through surgery, or should I go first for Bella?
Okay, thank you, Darlene.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
I would need to ask her how much overweight and whether she's had any children yet. Or
Well, 18 years old.
So
sorry.
Let's hope not.
Well, I think if you're moderately overweight, say about 5 to 7 kilos, or most of us struggle with that, and if the predominance of fat is around the midsection, showing a hereditary predisposition, then I would say why not try the less less aggressive, so to speak, techniques first.
And is this a less painful option as compared to liposuction? Like you said, if it's just a little bit of weight that you want to shed?
Well, it's not painful at all. This is like having a massage. Sometimes there's a little bit of bruising because the blood vessels get traumatized. But I use this machine even after liposuction, 4 weeks down the line, to get rid of the additional edema fluid.
Now, there's a bit of a myth that I keep hearing. I don't know if this is true or not. Maybe you could clarify. Liposuction, if you get liposuction done on your arms or a part of your body, specific part of your body, and then you gain weight again, what happens? Does the fat ever get distributed to that area, or is it redistributed everywhere else?
Yeah, that's a really good question, Dina, because we get asked this a lot. I think all of these procedures, I think it's important to remember it's about lifestyle. You have to choose a lifestyle, you have to stick to a particular diet and a routine. Of course, veering every now and then. But if you increase your caloric intake after liposuction in a particular area, you're bound to put it on somewhere else because your predisposed fat depot or your preferred fat depot has now been removed because the cells have actually physically been taken away. So then it has to go to the next depot, wherever that might be. So I think it is important that after liposuction, which is a definitive procedure, by the way, that you have to maintain your balance.
All right, thank you so much, Dr. Khan. It's been great talking to you.
Thank you, thank you.
Thank you so
All
much.
right, earlier we announced our Groupon competition where you could win 4 pairs of tailor-made shorts, anti-aging treatments, perfume, and a de-stress package.
All you had to do was answer this simple question. What bird is Chef Scott Price cooking on the show this evening? Is it A, a hummingbird? Is it B, a pigeon? Or is it C, a ladybird?
The answer is, fortunately or unfortunately, pigeon. And the name of the winner will be appearing on our Facebook page this very evening, so check it out to find out if it is you.
Right, we are running short of time, and so we need to head back to the kitchen to find out how Chef Scott's pigeon is doing because he just has 60 seconds left.
Okay, so we've got the hazelnut puree going onto the plate, and then what I'm going to do is just spread that around. I'll show you how to do this in the restaurant. In the pan, I've took the pigeon out, it's already roasted off. A little bit of the crispy legs on there. I'm going to carve the pigeon. So you see it's nice and rare.
Ooh.
Okay.
Okay.
Hopefully that's okay for you.
Nice
So
and red there.
Yeah.
Got a red in there.
Nice bit of pink, it's fine.
What pink?
Okay.
Sorry.
A little bit on there. Yeah, pink. Okay. And then we've got crispy hazelnuts around the outside like that. Spoon on a few
Pomegranates. Under
pomegranate
30
seeds.
seconds,
Okay.
Chef.
Nice colour. And we've got some nice spicy watercress, peppery watercress that we're going to put on there.
We've got our colors going on here in the dish.
It's a very,
Under
very bright
15.
dish. Okay. And then this is the hazelnut dressing that I've made as well. So just around the outside and over the top like that. So you've got roasted pigeon, hazelnut salad, and pomegranate. Okay.
And your time is
You don't even look
up.
worried,
I'll
Ash.
take a
You're
little
trying
piece off
something
this.
for the first time.
Okay.
Well, you know, I like to try new things, so I'm gonna go for this one.
It's really light. It's really light. No, I like it.
It's like chicken, but only a little more tender, I would say. It's quite nice. Well, Chef, thank you so much for that. That is a cracker. Recipe to that on our Facebook page, facebook.com/Studio One Live.
Now that's all we have time for this evening. Thanks to all of our viewers and guests who have joined us throughout the show. And of course, to all of you for watching.
Don't forget to join us tomorrow, same time, as we meet a 5-time Olympian champion and find out what your kids need to eat at school.
Goodbye.